Hey you guys, it's me Bryson. So I was sitting here trying to figure out what am I going to film because I definitely wanted to get a few videos in my vault because honey 2019 is going to be a very busy year. And I figured like what's one goal I have in 2019, and that's obviously dating because obviously I do not date. But generally because usually it goes very long, and second, because like I am like a naturally very busy person, and like I said, it normally always goes wrong. So I thought that maybe I would tell y'all this like story time about when dating went horribly, horribly wrong for me. So for those of you who do know me, you know that I believe that you should date multiple people at one time. As long as you're not in a committed relationship, like you should date like 4 or 5 people. None of them are your boyfriend. Just date. No one said do anything else. I said date. Date. So when I was in college, I went to school in Northwest Arkansas, to Northwest Arkansas Community College, and I studied public relations. And then later I went to cosmetology school. And one of my very good girlfriends that I met while I was in college is Miss Betsy Davis. Hey Betsy. So Betsy and I were definitely frick and frack, honey. We were the blondes that terrorized Fayetteville. We were always out for a good time. We always had like the same things. We love accessories. We love fashion. We love to be a little extra. We love Lauren Conrad. So the minute I met Betsy, like I knew we were gonna be friends. So one night, Betsy and I decided to go out, and there was this club called Xanadu. And for those of you who know Fayetteville, you know that Xanadu was the club to go to. I mean, the club. So when we were there, we met these 2 boys, and then it turns out they were brothers, very tall and handsome, and we're gonna call them Joffrey and Malfoy. So Joffrey was like that rugged boy, and at that time he wore a lot of affliction, and like he was cute and all, but now I probably wouldn't think he was cute because ain't nobody got time for bedazzled shirts and jeans. But Malfoy was just like very handsome, very slicked back, honey. He was everything, and Betsy had her eyes set on him, honey. Betsy was going for him. So Betsy's phone had died, and she had decided she was like, okay, look, my phone died and I would love to have your number, but of course my phone died, so give your number to Bryson and he'll just give it to me when we get home. So him and I exchanged numbers, and then when we got back to Betsy's house, I gave her his number, and she texted him, and he like never replied. So the next day, Betsy was like, he hasn't replied to me. Text him and see if he replies to you. So I texted him and he replied. So Betsy was like, oh my gosh, he's gay. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if he's gay. Like maybe he was just busy. Text him again. No reply. So as time went on, him and I became friends and we started hanging out. So we were like doing all different types of things. Like we would go to the movies, we would go to dinner, we would just like hang out. Like we were like friends. So oftentimes like I become friends with people not realizing that they actually want to date me. And this was definitely one of those cases. So, like, just for instance, like, we were going to his house, we would watch movies. There was times where he would, like, we were watching movies. He's like, let's go watch this in my room. I'm like, no, your TV in your room is way too small. Why would we watch a movie in your room and your TV's, like, 20 inches? And you have a 44 outside. Let's just stay out here. Oblivious. So, one day, him and I went to lunch, and he was just asking, like, you know, what I was doing later that night. So, at this point, him and I were hanging out for well over, like, 2 months. Like, going out like every week and hanging out. So he was like, what are you doing later tonight? I was like, oh, I'm probably just gonna have some alone time. But I really wasn't going to have alone time. I was really going to the movies with another guy that I know named Maurizio. So Maurizio and I were hanging out. We were very friendly. Like we would go to dinner. He worked at a restaurant that one of my friend's parents owned, and I met him, and he was just like a really nice guy. My friend Elizabeth used to call him Salsa Boy, which is kind of very funny. So Maurizio lived next door. So like he would like come pick me up, or I would go pick him up, and we would go do different things. So Malfoy was like, oh, so what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm going to the movies alone. But really I was going with Maurizio. So I went home, took a nap, got ready, and went to the movies and with Maurizio. As we walk into the movies, Malfoy is standing in the lobby. He's like, I decided to surprise you, but you don't look like you're alone. Goops, bitch. So at this point, I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I'm just like, oh, this is my neighbor Maurizio, you know, play it off. Because the one thing that I had going for me is neither of these guys had actually vocalized that they liked me, even though I was hanging out with both of them for months and going on actual dates. And they were both closet cases. So like at that point, like it's not like they were going to be like fighting for my attention. I've only had one closet case like be like, oh no, he's mine. And then like I was dating a guy at the time, my boyfriend was like, this ain't what you want. But anyway, so I had to sit through this movie with these two guys the entire time. It was so awkward. I mean, that was like a player move though, honey. I was like, playing. So after that horrifying triple date, Malfoy and I kind of like stopped talking just because like I felt like he had a bunch of emotional issues and he had like things he had to figure out. And Maurizio and I, we're still cool. Like he's still my buddy. But anyways, like, yeah, dating never goes right for me. Like I'm always caught up in a love triangle. One time I was like talking to this guy and then all of a sudden like I was like the main chick and then all of a sudden I became the side chick, but that's a different story for a different day. Comment below if you want to hear that story on how I became the side chick, and honey, it is juicy. But anyways, in 2019, I hope to do better with dating, but then again, if I don't end up dating that much in 2019, I'm fine with that too, because honey, we're trying to secure the bag. We don't have time for boys. We have time for trips and cash, okay? But not like a gold digger way, as in like I'm a strong, independent black woman. Hear me roar away. Anyways, if you like this video, please comment, give me a big thumbs up, and honey, subscribe. You ain't doing nothing else. I know y'all are subscribed to Shane, James, Jackie. Everybody else subscribe to me. Cause honey, we're low budget. This backdrop is a curtain, a sheet, baby. But I got my furs. Ooh. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.